Fashion isn't just about clothes, it's about how young people express themselves, from what they wear on the street to what they post online. Fashion is a big part of their identity. But it's not all fun or games. Sometimes trying to stand out can lead to pressure to fit in, and there's also the issue of spending too much money on clothes or feeling insecure about body image. So while fashion can be exciting, it also has its challenges for young people. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us on another interesting episode of Youth Connect on Trust TV. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. Now I have with me in the studio two people who may agree or disagree to fashion sense of young people of now and of the then. Joining me to interact on this topic is Hauwa Isaq Ibrahim, a fashion designer. Thank you so much, Hauwa, for joining us.
Thank you.
And we have Moses Marcus. He is a voiceover artist. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll go into the discussion fully. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Youth Connect coming to you from our studios here in Abuja. Now, Hauwa, thank you so much once again.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about fashion. I would like to start by asking you what inspires you, or what's your take when it comes to fashion?
Okay, fashion is more like a lifestyle. It's not just about what you wear. It's not just about what you like your taste in what you wear. It's more like a lifestyle. It encompasses you as a whole person. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about inspiration of what maybe inspires my sense of fashion, comfort. Everybody has his or hers. Some people will be like, oh, they want to follow the trends. Mm-hmm. Some will like, no, they just want to do what fits them. Well, I'm part of those percentage of people that want to do what fits them. And comfort has always been what inspires me. I love to wear things that I'm so flexible in. I feel whole, I feel myself, and that is what inspires my fashion sense.
Okay, Moses, what about you? Do you follow the trends as well?
I'm not a trendy person to start. But like we discussed earlier, I grew up with a sporty father, and put it like that. Till this day, he still plays sports. But taking notes from his book, I saw somebody that liked to wear something he was comfortable in every time. Shorts, track wear, whatever. You know, I followed that suit too. Basically hairstyle, but because of who I saw growing up. So yeah, I love my comfort as well. You know, just be free in whatever you're wearing. Whatever you're putting on, yeah.
Oh, nice. I like the whole inspiration with what everybody feels or they are comfortable in. Yeah. But then let's look at the issue with our youth nowadays and how they dress. Like my introduction captures what they wear on the street to what they post online. What do you think causes that kind of dress sense for the youth nowadays?
Well, for me, I think trends sets it, and the social media that they post what they wear is where they see what they wear. Maybe from influencers, maybe artists, people generally that they like to copy. And trends is one of the major factors in fashion right now. I, as a fashion designer, can tell you so much how it has affected the choices that people make when it comes to mode of dressing. For example, they see a certain style starts to trend on social media. Everybody is sewing that kind of dress, and when they even come to you as a fashion designer, they'll tell you, oh, I want that certain thing that
they saw online.
Now maybe one person just started wearing it, and I was like, oh, let me wear it the same way. So to answer your question, it's just trends. Trends set everything in fashion.
Okay, Moses, there is a problem with what our youths wear nowadays. You could see there was this video that I saw on social media of a lady dressing half naked and someone pouring water on her to go back home and change. Do you think that kind of dress, does it boost their confidence, or it's just a reflection of their moods?
Half the time or 100% of the time, why people wear what they wear is because it gives them a level of confidence, boosts their self-esteem and whatnot. But whether it's right or wrong, you can't really say, but half the time you see people wanting to step out in things that they feel they are comfortable in. So yes, you can say their self-esteem or their comfort is what they prioritize when they wear what they wear. they are trying to be confident in what they're wearing. Whether it's right or wrong is up to them, to be honest. Yeah.
Hauwa, what do you think about that as well? Does it boost their confidence?
Somehow, I would agree to disagree with
Yeah,
what
you know,
Moses
I've already said it's either you agree or you disagree too.
For me, I feel people wear what they wear due to self-esteem, and how good or how bad your self-esteem is as a person, it reflects on what you wear. For example, someone battling with or struggling with his self-esteem due to one reason or the other may feel like, oh, when I do this thing that this person is doing, and maybe it will boost me, it will make me feel better. For example, girls wearing more revealing clothes to attract men, you understand, it gives them this placebo effect of self-confidence. They
feel wanted.
Yes, I've gotten to that level of feeling wanted and stuff like that. So yes, I agree with him when he says your self-confidence reflects on what you wear, but I also don't agree fully that it is the basis of what you decide to choose to wear. It has to be, it's more of what you are as a person, your own personality. And yes, mood actually affects the way we dress. Like, I would use myself for an example. When I'm not really in the mood, or when I'm in those lazy moments and stuff,
you don't feel like you want to.
I would just look at my wardrobe and I'm like, what's the most easiest thing for me to wear? And I take it, I pick it, and I wear, and I move out. So yes, those two things affect, but now it now reflects on who you are as a person, and how it's going to impact you to portray it on what you wear.
Yeah, but Moses, don't you think, certain ways that there's this quote that said, dress how you want to be addressed. So don't you think, certain way that our young people dress can actually attract abuse on them, both on social media and on the street as well?
Definitely, it can. It can. You see somebody step out in, like you said, half-naked clothes sometimes, revealing the bosoms and whatnot. She may feel confident in what she's wearing, no doubt, but how the people outside view
Perception.
it's up to them as well. Your confidence, your self-esteem, how you're feeling, your mood is up to you when you go out. But then people that see you and then deduce what they deduce from what you've worn, I think it causes them, half the time it causes them to, withdraw, like how you're dressed. People make first impressions. They take out,
it really does
they take that out from, like, the first time they meet you. What are you wearing? What are you putting? How well dressed. Sometimes you might wear something decent and not look nice, but half the time it's better to wear something decent and miss, than something extra revealing and then missing totally. So
have you ever? I'm sorry, I just don't know how I jumped. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you dressed in a certain way and your friends be like, "Why are you dressed this way? Why are you not wearing what we are wearing so you fit in?" So do you think peer pressure actually plays a role, and societal expectations also?
Yes, it does. Okay, now let me use these two words you said: peer pressure, societal expectation, and each I'm going to give references from my own experience. Now, the moment I decided to start wrapping my head this way and not to reveal or wear my veil on the shoulder, anytime we're going for a wedding, my friends would be like, why must you put it on your head now? It's wedding, wear it on your shoulder and everything. And sometimes I feel like, okay, let me just do it this way. But I'll be like, no.
Yeah.
So there's this drag, because you want to fit into your friends that obviously everybody is, how we women dress when we are going for weddings. We
want to look all
glammed up, and not, even if you are 30, you want to look 6 feet 16 and stuff like that. Yes, peer pressure plays a vital role in how people decide to choose what to wear. And then societal expectations. Now, there's this experience I once had at some point in my place of work. Everybody thought I was married because of the way I was always well covered. I was always wearing hijab and everything. And one day, just one day, somebody met me at somewhere that is more of a lighter workload, and I was wearing something more, not
different from what they've seen you.
And he was like, "So you are not married?"
Also, oh wow. Okay. So the way you dress actually made them feel you're married. But when you dress in a different way
like,
than the
so
usual.
you're not married? I said, what made you think I was married all this time? And what made you think I'm not married all this time? And he was like, no, but you know, in our society, women are more, when they are married, they're more covered. They always wear hijab and everything. I said, oh, wow.
So they were not expecting a young person who is not married to dress or, you know, cover up like that. Way. Yeah.
And I realized that, okay, so the society expects that because I'm not married, I should follow the trend. I should wear this way so that men or this opposite gender will know that I am not married from the way I dress. Does that make sense?
Okay, now, Moses, I have to throw this question to you based on what Hauwa just said. So you could see that because of the way she was covered, they actually thought she was married. So do you think that has given her some level of respect in the eyes of these people at her workplace and even in the society?
I think it should have given her a level of respect, definitely.
It should be a point of you being a man. How do you picture that?
Yes, I would give her respect fully. I'll give her respect fully. If I'm used to seeing her, you know, corporately dressed in a corporate space, I'll give her plaques. If outside the office, let's say we're going out for, you know, just to hang out, and she's well dressed too. She looks nice for the occasion, but she's well dressed too. I'm giving her plaques too. You know, so definitely when you see somebody well covered, well dressed, half the time you give them their plaques. Yeah.
Okay, so this question is going to be to the both of you, right? So, you know, we talked about social media earlier, what we post online, and you talked about celebrities or, you know, influencers, and we know that young people tend to idolize these celebrities because they want to, you know, follow the footsteps of those people that they are idolizing. So how has social media played a role in shaping, you know, the fashion preferences and the trends and what the young people would tend to follow, even when it's not good for them, you know? How do you think social media has played a role in that?
Do you want to start first or let me start?
Because it's for both of you.
No, because when you talk about social media, being a fashion designer in this generation of social media, we have seen how much it has played a role, because you have clients come to you and some things that are not even, that you don't know exist in the fashion world, they will go and fish it out from only God knows where and bring it to you and say, this is what they want. Because this is what they see that has, that they think, oh, because this person does it, it would be good for me. So when you talk about dress sense with social media, I would say a good number of 60 to 70% of the youth and how they dress, forget the home training, yes, because all of us are always, we as African children, we are home trained. So whatever vices we picked is mostly our choices. And when you get to that point of dress mode, social media has done, for me, I would say it has done more harm than good to the way we dress, because there are things that if, for example, we don't have the social media to share it to, people will not see it to copy. And these generations are people of, I want to always copy this person. I want to always do this as this person. Oh, because I see so-so influencer wearing this, to the fabric that they make dress with, they'll be like, I see this influencer wearing this lace. I feel it's going to look good on me. That's how impactful social media has been on fashion sense. That's how deep it runs. To the little thing, to the accessories. Someone will tell you, oh, I saw this person wearing this purse and this shoe. I think it will look good on me. When actually it's not looking good on her, but because of the trends. Because of the trends, because of what she sees on social media.
Okay, now we're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, this discussion will continue.
Rise of Africa, stand and make sure that our people.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Youth Connect coming to you from our studios here in Abuja. Okay, before we went on the break, Hauwa was saying something about, home training. Moses, what do you think, the society expects from parents? Because, they are the ones that instill this, disciplines on us as parents. They teach us how to dress, how to communicate in a certain ways. There are certain ways that you communicate to your parents to tell you, no, don't say that.
Don't say that.
So what do you think the society expects from parents at this point, especially when it comes to the way our young people are dressing?
The society expects a lot. It expects the parents to really shape the child, build the child to what the child is. But I always think it's their training or whatever they've tried to instill in you can only go so far. It might be to last you for a lifetime. They're giving it to you to last you forever, but that might not be the case, because at some point you make your own decisions yourself. It's up to you whether you go left or whether you go right. So their teachings and their doctrines only take you so far. At the end of the day, it's up to you to cross the road or not. Yeah.
Okay, Hauwa, what do you think also from the same question? What the society expects from our parents?
Well, just like Moses said, a lot of expectations. But like I always say, and it's almost reflecting to what he said, your choices. No matter how much your parents have instilled the home training that you need, it's also left to you, to what you choose. So yes, society expects so much from parents, forgetting that they are humans. They are not actually perfect to give you everything, or they cannot have you in control at all the time. If they could control you to when you're 5, when you're 10, when you're 15, when you're 18, maybe when you're 20, and they can tell you, oh, don't wear that dress, oh, don't leave my house wearing that, oh, don't make that hair or stuff like that. But when you're 30, or when you're 25, or when you're 35,
you outgrow it.
You outgrow it.
Yeah.
So then it's now your choices. Sometimes I feel the society is not really being fair to parents, because they can't really do it all alone. And they are humans, like I said. So there are other factors, and also there are other factors that affect a child's upbringing or how a person turns out to be. Environment, the society itself, the kind of friends, the kind of movies you watch, the kind of books you read, a lot of things. So what the society expects from parents, they expect a lot, but forgetting they cannot give you a lot, and they cannot always have you in control. So that's why, just like Moses says, your choices actually keeps you to either going left or right.
So Moses, back to the parents again. Do you think parents should keep tabs on what their children wear, especially at a certain age in their lives, like Hauwa just mentioned?
Absolutely.
Do you get to a certain age, that you have to outgrow certain morals that maybe parents have instilled in you? But then, how do parents keep tabs of their children to make sure that the morals, the discipline they instilled on these children is still valid?
The how is a tricky question, but I can tell you this much. If my dad didn't see me, or both my parents, but I'll reflect on my dad. If my dad didn't see me and the rest of my brothers as, his friends, I think we'd have, a tricky relationship where he speaks and we can't listen, or we don't listen. But till this day, I have 2 older brothers, and they still listen when my dad speaks. Why? There was a come back down to earth relationship. That's, he left his high horse or whatever,
and then came low to
he
your,
came back down to our level.
to be your friend.
Yes, had the difficult discussions with us. Told us the A's and B's point blank without trying to mask anything. So you get to that point where you're dealing your hand, but then again you're pulling your children like with care. You're dealing your hand, letting them know that you're in charge and you've seen it all. But then again, you're like...
You pull them back again.
Exactly.
With the
You're coming back down to their level to understand that, oh yes, it can go like this, but I'm here with you. I've been through like this phase. But just building a rapport, a relationship with them, a good one. That should be like the ultimate goal.
Whether we like it or not, our parents will always be our parents. There are certain ways that you still dress till tomorrow. Your parents will tell you, no, go back and change what you're wearing. It's not because they don't want you or they don't like seeing you in that dress, but because they know the society, when you go out there, they feel like they are going to be questioned. their morals are going to be questioned.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hauwa, you heard what Moses said about, if parents should keep tabs on their parents or not, but there are other responsibilities that parents should, play in making sure that their children dress well, just to keep with the morals and the discipline that they instilled on these children. So what other ways do you think parents can do that?
Well, I will be talking from my own experience. And when I was growing up, my mom used to make two statements. She asked me, am I comfortable in what I'm wearing? And then the second one is, if you cannot pray well, I'm talking from the Muslim perspective here, and she'll be like, if you cannot pray in what you wear, then you are naked. So anytime I want to wear something, and I remember that, I have to go and look for something to cover up before I pray, I feel like I'm not complete. I just go back and change it or do something better. So if, just with what Moses said, like the way the relationship comes up between the child and the parent, you cannot do much than that. How your relationship is with your child and what words you tell this person, what words you tell the child. Sometimes the way the parents would make you understand with the words, they don't need to flog you, they don't need to say anything, they don't need to shout. They don't need to do absolutely nothing, because those words will keep echoing in your ears or your head, and that will keep you going. So I think the best thing is just the relationship.
Well, I think, the responsibility of making sure, these young people dress in a certain way is not just on the parents. It lies on even as elder brothers and elder sisters, uncles, and what have you. So Moses, have you ever, encountered any sort of criticism, maybe because of how, maybe if you have any younger ones, maybe they dress in a certain way that you don't dress, and, you had to, see that criticism or that maybe, let's say, abuse on your younger ones. How did you handle situations like that? Or even yourself, if you've ever faced any sort of criticism because of the way you've dressed?
Criticism is a day-to-day thing. It's bound to come from somebody. There might be 10 people in this room and then 8 say you look nice, whereas there's 2 telling you don't look good at all. So it's bound to come. But yeah, when it comes, I have, had somebody say, what you're wearing doesn't, fit the occasion. But I had to wear what I wore, and I felt comfortable in it. So being strong-willed or of a strong mind to take the criticism that was thrown my way is one thing. But not everybody's willed like that.
Yeah.
When it comes to compliments, what they wear, criticism on what they wear, not everybody's built to take it on the chin and then keep it moving. But for me, I just took it on the chin and I kept it moving, to be honest. It wasn't something I dwelt on, because it was just it was a thing of color. I don't think it was what I wore, how I wore it. It was just a thing of like the color of what I wore. But yeah, it happened, and I just took it as a slap on the wrist and I kept it moving. And
that didn't change the way you dress, because that's the motive. You want to continue to dress the way you want to dress.
It didn't.
So, Hauwa, there are certain misconceptions about the way young people dress nowadays, right? So how do you think, people should, challenge these misconceptions? What can we do, for the young people to understand that the certain ways that they dress has some negative impact on them and in the society they live in, even on their parents as well?
Well, the first I would say is advocacy. And it may sound too serious, but actually there are times where we need to be serious and talk more about things. There are times when we need to call the attention of people and say, look, what you do, what you wear, is actually something you need to look at. I know how many times I have commanded respect in places that I thought for me, I feel I'm not up to that level to command respect, but because of what I wear, I'm addressed, I'm given that respect, I'm accorded with so much dignity and everything. And I've met people that even I myself, I won't lie, I felt like, this person, what more does he have to? And then when you hear them speak, you get to see they're so intelligent, but what they wear actually makes you feel like they don't have anything to give you. So I think we could start by talking about it with our younger ones, talking about it with our cousins, with our family and friends, with our colleagues. Okay, there's this thing, being into the fashion world, I feel like there should be more of things like fashion exhibitions that shows more of modesty. Because when you look at the fashion world, you see that whenever they want to do fashion shows, runways, it's always tight-fitting clothes. Like, they don't show that modesty can be beautiful.
Yes.
They don't
because that
show
has a way of injecting
yes,
the ideas.
They don't show
in
that, oh, if I dress covered, I can absolutely be beautiful, stylish, cheeky, and everything. Sometimes, even when weddings, when you talk about weddings, they don't show a bride can look absolutely beautiful without being fitted or without revealing part of her body. So I think that too would have a very big impact on how fashion sense is being seen by the society.
Okay, now, this conversation is so interesting. I did not want it to end, but then, due to time constraint, we have to just wrap up here. Thank you so much, Hauwa, for being on the show. Thank you so much, Moses, for also honoring the invitation. Well, viewers, this is where we come to the end of this episode. Do join us again next week for another interesting conversation on Youth Connect. Don't forget, dress how you want to be addressed. It's very, very important. I remain Fatima Ahmed Musa. Bye for now.